G, born with the wisdom, sense of a rich man, knowledge in the rhythm. This is what I'm using to come up with a style, so I'll interact altogether better with the crowd. Wait. Because you see, before any of that, before I even wrote, I didn't write. Because I didn't think poetry was for me. I was too unaware to understand, because I thought this poetry stuff, I thought it was all so corny. That was until I read a poem that isn't written by Shakespeare. So what was once so obscure and blurry has now become something that I hold dear. See, poetry to me is an anomaly, something different. It's like water that you can drink from and yet still use it as a mirror. I think poetry helps us look at ourselves. It helps us see the world differently. It can even make the path that we walk in life a little bit more clearer. So when I sat down and read that poem, I was suddenly hit like a light. My heart was pierced and something was moving in me, and I just began to write. And now I write for the love of it. It's something that I love since I was in 8th grade. And honestly, sometimes I still write like Mr. Schultz is sitting over there in the corner and giving me a grade. I write for Angel Andrews, that lovely young woman from 9th grade who was my very first muse. I write for the different path that I walked in high school, even though sometimes secretly I wanted to wear everybody else's name brand shoes. I write for those same peers now, especially the ones that are going through a tough time and in need of a lift. I write for my English teacher who told me never ever lose this gift. But Mr. Taylor, use this gift, because if it's not written, then it's not read. I write, sadly, from the lesson that my late cousin Monique taught me while she was on her deathbed. The lesson for the young women to stop and use their head. The lesson for the young men to be wise in the places that they tread. I write for my grandmothers. My grandmothers who loved me and just wanted a little bit more of my time. I write for my grandfathers who I've never got a chance to spend time with, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful to come from that line. Now I write for my parents. My parents who listened to my first ever poetry lines and brought me my first poetry folder. I write for my friends who listen to those same lines now and tell me, man, you need to get bolder. Because these words are meant to warm hearts in the world constantly growing colder. To strengthen the weak, to comfort the lonely, and give the weeping a shoulder. You see, I write for my sister. My sister who, like all siblings, we get on each other's last nerves sometimes, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful and I love her. I love her because she is like no other. I write for my family because even though we are a strange group of people, I wouldn't trade them for any other. You see, I write for those whose voices are not heard and their faces are not seen. I write for those who thought their vision was crazy and abandoned all their dreams. I write for the absurdity of writing poetry over the absurdity of not writing poetry. I write for those who can't be poets but aspire to move like poetry. Now you may think this is weird, but see, I write because I like the way the ink smells on the page. I write to ensure that the singing birds are released from their cage, because when that blue and black ink spills over into my veins, it's like the words have now become my vessels, and the lines have become my reins. You see, I write because God won't let me sleep until I finish a piece. I write for those who can't sleep at night and are in need of God's peace. I write for the life after the cross. It is finished. I write for that because of the freedom that it brings to me. I write for those that are blind and pray that these words can be a light, can be an inspiration to help them see. I write for the love. I write for the passion. I write for the purpose. I write for you. I write to free myself. I write because poetry is my pulpit. Pimp. Jeff the verb. This is why I write.